Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell if you haven't done so already. Make sure you check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Discord link to that is in the description below and also the top of the chat, so you can't miss it. You can join the discussions with myself, other traders, join the community, and of course, you can find some discount codes there for your next purchase on your Elevating Traders Challenge. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Of course, we're going to go through the charts, see what's happening in the markets, discuss any trades, any ideas, and anything we're looking at. And of course, feel free to drop in the chat which pairs you want me to take a look at, and if you're looking at anything. But welcome to the stream, everyone. Rizvan, what is up? Naiko, hope I'm saying that correctly. What is up? Welcome to the stream. And Dorcas, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is well. So we'll start with USD. We saw a bit of weakness for USD, then a bit of strength actually. Overall, I'm still looking for some downside for the dollar because of primarily where we're trading. Massive levels of resistance and higher time frames. Effectively, what's keeping us in a range. We've got the high of the range up there, the low of the range roughly around here, and the market has been fluctuating between these two prices for the past couple of years. So it's going to take a lot of energy for us to go and break through that. And to be fair, at the moment, we do have quite a lot of energy and we could potentially see the breakout, but I'm always going to anticipate price to react with a level and see some downside. If we do break, we'll break, I'll reanalyze and we'll go from there. And as I've said on multiple occasions, if we do get the breakout, we're probably going to push to the high there. So we can speak about that when it does happen. But for now, we're still respecting the area as resistance. Dropping to the daily chart, you can see we did have a bit of a drop yesterday. So we did see a bit of weakness. Didn't really amount to much, to be honest. I've been looking for a drop for dollar back to this area. This is where I expect us to get to 105,400. We kind of came a third of the way there before seeing some upside. And as I said yesterday, we might still push up before having that move down. There'll be a lot of traders who are short or long, potentially Euro USD, for example, from last week. A lot of stocks will be above that high. We potentially could go one more push, take that high out before seeing the relief. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's happening. In fact, that could be a really nice trade opportunity. We'll look at that on the flip side with Euro, but in terms of the dollar, I still do expect us to get there, whether we just put a lower high and drop, or maybe we have one more push to the upside. As long as we hold the level, so that one more push doesn't take us to the moon, then I'm expecting us to drop to the downside. And this is the level I'm looking at, 105,400 roughly. So, don't know what happened there. In my book, there's still a lot more downside. There's still a lot more downside for the dollar. I know we looked a little bit bullish this morning, but I would still expect us to continue to see some downside. If we do start pushing up this afternoon and the rest of the week, I do think we'll top out somewhere. It's always just difficult to try and catch where that top will be. It's always the difficult trade, aggressive trade. But in this situation, you can see how dollars very overextended to the upside. I do expect us to see some downside. So taking that information into Euro, I'm expecting the inverse. I'm expecting price to push up. Of course, Euro is pretty much doing the exact same thing on the higher time frames. As we can see, massive support in this area. A couple of bounces prior, big bounce over there, second one over there. And now we're trading at the third area. So I do expect to see price have a bit of relief to the upside. I was talking about the consolidation here yesterday. I said price might want to have one more push down. So same with dollar having one more push up. One more push down first, and then we might see the move. Yesterday, we actually were looking pretty bullish. We'll come back into the range there. Again, that down push might still happen, but the idea is still the same, looking for that relief. And again, if you're looking to sell Euro, I still like the level up here for the shorts, retesting that prior low, which is 1.07, lines up really well with the psychological level. I think that would be a nice place for a short to look for stops above the high, and of course, a continuation back into the low. And of course, if you're looking for the longs, you're looking for the opposite, around these areas, stops below, and a push to the high. So these are some nice kind of intra-week trade opportunities, which I do like for Euro. I'm leaning more towards the bearish one because it's in line for momentum. The buys are always a bit difficult. Like I said, we don't have to bounce here. We can still break through the level. So it's always going to be an aggressive trade. But if it does play out, you're looking at a decent risk to reward. So yeah, these two opportunities look good. Whether you're looking to short or long, there's opportunities in both directions. Just about staying patient and waiting for the right time, essentially. This for me looks like a nice place to short from 1.07, retesting that low. I believe we do line up with the 0.618 of the Fibonacci as well, from that high to that low. As you can see, 0.618 running straight through that level. So a really nice confluence there and a healthy pullback. But for now, kind of doing neither of the two really, kind of just hovering inside that consolidation. So looking for one more drop and probably some nice buys maybe tomorrow or the day after. In terms of pound USD, I'm not really interested with the buys with this one, but I do like the sells. So again, this one's similar situation. I'm looking for some retracement, but this is the level I'm looking to short from. I think this one lines up to 0.618 as well. Yeah, bang on the money there. If we could see some upside to that area, that looks like a nice place for a short and a continuation. Looking for entries around 1.285, stops above the zone. Of course, we'll see what type of price action we get there. We might run straight through. So it's important we wait for price to get there, see some rejection, some wicks, and then we can look for some entries. And yeah, looking to take price back down again. But if I scale to the higher time frame, you can see where pound USD is trading, coming into another key low. A reason why I'm expecting price to bounce. And if USD does see that downside I'm looking for, then these USD pairs are going to move to the upside in turn. So yeah, looking for some shorts there for pound, but will probably take some time for us to get there initially. But the shorts do look good, 1.285. Aussie dollar, I believe we're having some retracement on that one as well. Pushing up. I'm not a big fan of the shorts with this one because it's not as big of a pullback as I want. For example, if I draw the Fibonacci from the high there to the low, we're only getting, not even testing 0.5 there, whereas the levels are marked in euro and pounds, they're hitting the 0.618. So I know naturally the market's a bit more stretched. It's had a deeper pullback. Here for Aussie, it's a nice level because it was price support really well in the 4-hour time frame. Could act as resistance pretty well again, 0.654. And I still do expect Aussie to keep dropping, actually, to be honest. I'm still looking for a push into the low here, which we haven't yet got to. So Aussie dollar still has a reason to keep falling to go and test some bigger levels further down. So Aussie dollar shorts look okay, but they don't quite tick my boxes. Therefore, it's not really a setup I'm looking at. But if the USD pairs are going to fall, Aussie dollars are going to fall with them as well. It doesn't matter if it doesn't tick my boxes or not. If the USD is going to be weak, Aussie dollar is most likely going to see some downside. Similar situation with the USD. But I think NZUSD is already testing some big levels. Yes, I wouldn't be looking to short NZUSD anymore because of primarily where we're trading. We have to see a lot more upside before I think about looking to short. Again, we've got a key level down there as well. So if NZUSD does drop again, there is a 0.58 area there with which we might bounce from. Overall, we are looking pretty good though. It was a nice consolidation from last week coming into this week. And now we're kind of breaking above that. So we might start to push up from here on out. So it does look like the USD pairs are getting ready for some upside. I'm looking across the board, looking at the price action. A lot of them had some consolidation, which they're broken out of. And a lot of them looks like they're coming back to retest that. So if that holds, we could probably see a lot more upside. If you take a look at gold, I really like the gold setup. To be fair, gold's at the top of my watch list right now for some shorts. I'm really eager to get into some shorts. Of course, eager within reason. I've got a plan. I'm going to wait for that setup to arise within the plan. But I just really like the opportunity. It ticks a lot of my boxes very, very well. So I'm waiting for price to get to my areas, and then I can start looking to short. But this is what I'm looking for, 26.50. Overall, very similar setup to euro and pound in terms of breaking retest of the prior low. We got the 0.618 confluence there as well. And of course, we had the really big break of structure to our left there, taking out that prior low, which gave us this big drive to the upside. Price has gone and broken straight through that. So that tells me that we've had a big break of structure. Most likely there's going to be more downside to come. And as we approach the 26.50, the market's pretty stretched. Monday, Tuesday been pretty bullish. So if you can top out around here, could see the rest of the week take us back down again. So yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing on the higher time frames as well. Solid bearish candle closes on the daily chart and the weekly, which is the time frame we're on right now. And overall, I think there's still room to the downside for gold to fall into back to 24.50. So yeah, the shorts look really good to me there for gold. And of course, if USD is going to be strong, keep keep that strength going up. And that should help gold to the downside as well. But we'll see. Setup's almost there. I have to keep an eye on it because it could set up later today or maybe early tomorrow. But I am looking to take some shorts on gold. What's up, Will? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Mr. Entry in Euro Yen. Yeah, the yen pairs did take a big drop, didn't they? That's the yen pairs for you. When they sell hard. When they buy, they give you a lot of opportunities. They push, they pull back, they push, they pull back. The sells are just no nonsense, really. See if you're in for the ride or you're not. Unfortunately, but they do pull back. That's the thing with FX. No matter if we're going up or down, we do eventually pull back. It's just with the sells, especially with the yen pairs, they're a lot more aggressive. Pullbacks a little bit more quicker, a bit more difficult to get into on average. But I still think there's an opportunity on the yen pairs. We're seeing some nice momentum, but I think we'll find an opportunity. If not this week, maybe sometime later, because I'll go through a couple of the yen pairs quickly. Like Euro yen, for example, if we are going to tank and see what I'm looking for price to do, which has come all the way back down to this low here, it's still a long, long way for us to go. If I measure that in pips, there's still about 700 pips there to the downside. So it's not going to just drop in one go. There's going to be pullbacks there, which will be worthwhile trading, hopefully, of course. Most likely there'll be some decent pullbacks. You can see this is the 4-hour chart, long, long way to go. Even if price was to completely melt like this, there'll probably be a pullback somewhere before we see the continuation. So keep an eye for that. But I do expect to see a lot of downside. So although may have missed this opportunity here, I do expect another one to arise, whether it be a retest of the low or somewhere else. We'll see as time develops, and it might be on a different pair as well, because the yen pairs are going to do the same thing. If Euro yen's going to tank back to 155, that means pound yen's going to drop, CAD yen's going to drop. So you're basically just going to be looking at the yen pairs, seeing which one ticks the boxes of your plan the best, and that's the one you want to be trading. But in terms of what they'll be doing, it's the same thing, really. But yeah, really, really bearish move there. And in terms of silver, I'm still holding on to my silver position. I have secured some profits, taking 50% off the table. I'm not so eager with trading stops with this position because I know it's a bit more short term. Like I just said, I'm pretty eager to sell gold. So yeah, if I'm looking to sell gold and I'm buying silver, a bit of contradiction there. But as I said previously, the idea of this trade here was to take advantage of the pullbacks on gold and silver. Now that move is kind of coming to an end, especially on gold, not too far away. Silver, I'm still looking for a little bit more upside back into the daily level up here. So that's really where my end goal is. But I have secured profit. So and my stops are break even as well. So worst case scenario, still walk away with a decent win there. But yeah, if I'm gonna get too short gold, I'll close the silver position beforehand. Although in my personal account, I may not do that because it might be a nice hedge. Yeah, I will look to pull some more profits off the table before I do get into gold. Gold's not too far away. Yeah, I mean, gold, we could see that in one candle, so I need to keep an eye on that. But yeah, still currently in silver. It's going pretty well. Seen some nice upside there. We've broken through that high there, which is when I went to break even. And secured some profits, and now I'm looking to see if we can keep pushing back to the high. If we're not, and price is going to kick bearish again, I'll probably close the trade or I'll just wait for it to hit my trail stop loss. Either which way, seen some nice momentum there for silver off these lows. Now looking to see how far we can take it. But overall, that's kind of my outlook for the USD pairs. Of course, indices, I think they've had a bit of a bounce as well. No, they haven't. I mean, looking pretty bearish still. US 500. Well, they did have a bit of a bounce yesterday, but because of the USD strength today, they're looking pretty bearish there. And NAS probably doing the same thing. Yes, bit of a move up, but overall, not really showing much momentum there to the upside. But yeah, for the DXY, still looking for some downside. I know we had a nice little drop yesterday. Well, very, very little, to be honest. Not much in that drop. But this momentum here, I'm not quite buying it. Even if it does keep pushing, I do expect us to top out somewhere. Whether we go and take out the high first, so we go take out those highs first, and then we drop later in the week or maybe early next week, or we're just coming back to retest the range here and sell off from the current price. From here, either which way, that's the move I'm looking for on the dollar. So yeah, we'll see how that gets going. That's really my bias, and of course, looking for the USD pairs to push up, and then we can speak about some longs as well once we get to these areas to take it back up again. Just looking to follow that bullish structure. Push over there, pull back, push, pull back. Probably another push to the upside. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD pairs. Let me guys know if you're looking to trade any of them or currently trading any of them at the moment. Kung, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Monthly drawdown, decided to switch my buys to short pound yen. Took a 1 to 6. Wow, impressive. Know what your thoughts on dollar pairs like dollar CAD, Euro USD, pound. Okay, I'll quickly go over them. Quickly, but impressive trade there on pound yen. What's up, FX Wolf? Good morning. Hope you're well. Tattooed. What's up, Aussie Cat? Okay, we'll take a look as well. Kojo, Euro pound. Yes, we'll take a look. What's up, Holy One? Welcome to the stream. EuroCAD sells since ATM trying to swing it. Okay. Yeah, EuroCAD's seen some nice downside, to be fair. Last time I had a look. We'll go through it. Dorcas, DAX. Okay, we'll have a look. See. Elias FX. Probably saying that incorrectly, but what's up? Welcome. Waiting for USD 38.2. Is that a price? I'm not sure what that is. 38.2U. Oh, is that the fib? Sorry. Before you speaking about Pacific price, 38.2 retracement, I think. Okay, I'll have a look at that as well. Nanad, what's up? JPY surprised me again this morning. Yeah, what do you think about it? Yeah, I think the JPYs are gonna start to melt. I'm not gonna lie. I do think the yen pairs are gonna say goodbye. We had that drop on Friday, of course, and I think we're going to see continuation of that. Really, like I said, Euro yen, CAD yen, all of these guys, I do think they're going to melt. Aussie yen, New Zealand yen. Yeah, I think it's lights out for these guys. Back to these lows here. Again, we might not get exactly there, but I do expect a big drop. And the reason why I'm talking about those lows is because I'm expecting a continuation of the meltdown in July of this big drop. The way I'm looking at the market right now is that this bullish move is a pullback of that big drop. So therefore, if this is a pullback of that drop, then you're going to expect a continuation. That, of course, will take us at least to the low there, but possibly further as well. So I'm looking at this as potentially a top for the yen pairs as well, because it's so impulsive. It's kind of outer character to an extent. So if this is going to be a bit of a top, not the top, but it might be a top for a while before eventually you might, eventually go and break through. But yeah, I'm looking at these moves as pullbacks on the weekly chart. So yeah, the way I'm looking at it is I'm expecting that momentum to really take us back to the lows, and of course potentially further as well. So yeah, a lot of movement this morning and last Friday. I think it's just the beginning, really. Not ready for me to short yet, to be honest. With CAD yen, I'm still waiting for us to break the low here. So I'm not looking to get into a trade just yet. But if I see a strong break of the low, that's a break of structure in my book, because this is the low which gave us the new high. So price goes and breaks through that. That's a break of structure. And then for me, I'm looking at the continuation. So still not ready to be shorted in terms of my trading plan. But the way I'm looking at the higher time frames, I do think there's a lot of downside to be had. Anyway, we could go through some of these USD pairs and then I'll wrap things up. So dollar CAD, I am looking for some downside and some continuation. We were looking pretty bearish with dollar CAD. That took me by surprise because USD wasn't that weak, but I don't remember CAD being that strong either. But yeah, really big drop yesterday. And as I mentioned on my weekly analysis, this is where I'm looking for price to get to. 1.396. This is where I'm looking for the bounce. Of course, we had that really strong close on the weekly chart, which is always a nice thing to see above a level, because that means if you were to pull back, the chances are we're probably going to see a continuation of that move. So with that strong close on the weekly chart, scaling down to the 4 hour, there's a nice level here, which we could be looking for a break and retest of. So prior resistance once, twice, a third time briefly, really strong break to the upside, no retest of that level. So it's fresh. So price was to get there, there's a good chance we're going to bounce and see some upside. And of course, if you're looking for a swing target right back to the high, you got a nice target there to work with as well. So yeah, in my book, dollar CAD looks pretty good to the upside. Still waiting for a bit more downside, of course, but the buys look good here. It's effectively a very similar setup to the shorts. I'm looking on gold, the shorts I'm looking at Euro USD. If I whip out the old Fibonacci, I think we come into the 50 here or 0.618. Yeah, 50. So it's a healthy pullback, nice area for a bounce. And of course, we've just broken through that big level on the weekly chart. So if the market's going to hold that, there's a good chance we're going to continue from a higher time frame perspective as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for dollar CAD. Then Euro USD is pretty much the same setup, but flipped. So if you're looking for the buys, there is some buys here, which I do like the look of, a little bit aggressive. But if we're to spike a little bit lower, take out the lows first, I think if we're to see some strong rejection shortly afterwards, that would be a nice buy because we just create fresh lows. We're still trading a massive level of support in the higher time frames. And that is a great place to position yourself long. Of course, still an aggressive trade, still going against momentum. But if it does play out, you're looking at a healthy risk to reward. And if you're waiting for the sells, then I like the setup over here, retesting that low at 1.07. Again, this one coming back into 0.618 there beautifully. If you can see a nice corrective pullback, some rejection of that area, I think that's a smart place to go short there and anticipate some more downside. So that's really what I'm eyeing up with Euro. If you're short, you're looking for the continuation of that momentum. You want to see a pullback now. Or if you're looking for the reversal, we're at a nice area. But let's see if you can spike the lows first before getting involved. And then pound USD, I'm not so interested with the longs because it hasn't come into as strong as a level as Euro. The reason why I like the longs with Euro is because the market is very stretched and haven't come into a big level. So that's two big reasons why the market is likely to bounce. Pound USD, same thing as well, was stretched. I've come into a decent low there on the daily, but it's nowhere near as critical as Euros. So I wouldn't be looking to buy this one. But if we do pull back in a similar manner as I'm expecting Euro to, then this looks like a good short. Retesting some lows here, which we haven't retested yet. So fresh resistance, really strong move to the downside, healthy pullback into the level. You can see some rejection there. Essentially just looking to find that next lower high. Probably draw a trend line connecting the highs there as well. So you got one major high over there, second over there, and possibly a third in that area. So you got a lot of confluence there. So if price was to correctively push up, see some wicks in that area, good chance we're going to hold to resistance and see a continuation. Then again, if you're looking for a swing target, you got the swing low here, which will probably give you a decent risk reward, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, maybe a 1 to 4, depending on your entry there as well, maybe even more than that as well. But that's kind of what I'm looking at there for pound. But yeah, a lot of upside needed. I haven't seen much movement this week yet. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at regarding USD markets. I'll go take a look at some requests now. So we'll take a look at Aussie CAD, Euro CAD, we'll take a look at the DAX as well. We'll go through ends the USD for that 38.2. What's up, Rob? Welcome to the stream. Good morning. Good morning. What's your view in US 30? Okay, we'll take a look at that one as well. Add that to the list. What's up, nice guy? Welcome to the stream. Shout out left hand luck brought me here. I don't know what that means. But shout out to left hand luck as well. Don't know what that is, but shout out. So yeah, in terms of like Aussie CAD not my favorite pair in the world. Let me know what you're looking to do with Aussie CAD. Yeah, definitely not a market that's on my watch list, to be honest. But I am still looking at it in relation to this ascending channel. The market is just slowly pushing to the upside, and we are testing that lower end. So we had a nice bounce last week as we came into the low, and of course the low of the channel as well. Now we're kind of just slowly pushing up. So the market is deciding whether it's going to use this support to spring another push back to the highs, or it's just having a bit of a bounce before it's going to break through and then really open the door to some shorts. Either way, there's a big move to be had. I'm more kind of fixated on shorts because this trend here is just so sluggish, slow corrective. It's not really a trend that I'm looking to follow. So I'm kind of waiting for us to break structure here, and then hopefully the shorts will be a lot more impulsive, a lot more momentum, and those will be some shorts that I'm really eager to take advantage of. So I'm not really fixated on the buys. I'm waiting for the breakout. But if you are looking to long, there's a nice area of confluence. around here, 0.905. Should the market see a push back into that, that could be a nice little double bottom entry for some buys. And again, you're trading at a nice area of confluence, really high time frame levels, so we're likely to see a bounce there. But of course, you want to wait for some rejection, not just jump straight into the trade. Yeah, I mean, possibly you could be looking for the full swing. I'd probably say not to, because there's a lot of obstacles in your way. The price has found a lot of resistance, so I'd watch out for that. If you are going to shoot for the moon, you want to take some partials or lock in some gains along the way. But even if we were to push to the downside from this high here, that could be a nice target to have and call it a day. Probably get a nice 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 into that area, lock in some gains. You can leave some positions to run if you want to. But this is a nice area where price has bounced once really well. So if we do get that again, see some more rejection, could see that happen as well. And if we do get the break and price does push down, then we can discuss the shorts. And I'll expect them to eventually push all the way to the lows here. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie CAD. But at the moment, still holding on nice support, so we might see the bounce. If we do see some upside back to some highs over there, could probably talk about some shorts, but we'll get to that when we get to that. In terms of EuroCAD, now EuroCAD is actually a short opportunity, which I was looking at last week, but I decided to stay out the way from because of the big wick on the weekly chart. So that wick there on the last week's candle seems to be playing out all right, though. Have to admit, looking for the retest of the low. Had that retest yesterday, I believe. Or was it Monday? No, Monday. And it's seen some nice downside. It hasn't really got to the low yet, but the initial reaction has been good. And there's a chance we could potentially go a lot further as well. Holy One, are you buying or selling EuroCAD? Okay, you sell since 8 a.m. So that's probably just before that drop there, was it? Yeah, 8 a.m. Yeah, so around there, just before the market tanked. So looking good, looking good. I assume your target is probably back to the low there at 1.472. So yeah, I assume your target's there. And I'll expect the market to get there. Really nice break and retest, very textbook stuff. But the weekly candle did put me off the trade there, so that's why I didn't take it, because I don't like when we have a breakout we leave behind a big wick. If we close strongly, I'll be all over that. But the wick there did deter me for the trade. But nice reaction, and if that momentum sustains, I'll expect us to get to the low there. So EuroCAD, I have to admit, is looking pretty good. Nice move. We'll go through the DAX. So we'll take a look at NZUSD and US30 whilst we're at it as well. Oh, Will, that's you. You're the left hand luck. Okay. Well, yeah, welcome to the stream and shout out to you, Will. Philip, what's going on? I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hope you're well. I'm back and stronger. Good to hear. I've missed the markets. What's your opinion on Bitcoin? Yeah, Bitcoin's flying, isn't it? I expect Bitcoin to go and hit 100K, to be honest. What price is Bitcoin trading at? I haven't actually checked. Okay, slowly pushing up high. So yeah, I expect Bitcoin just to go and hit 100K now, to be honest, because I think psychologically a lot of people are banking on 100K. 100K is like a big round number. A lot of attention will be there. I can bet my left toe that if price was to get to 100K, you will see a lot of articles, a lot of content on social media, and a lot of big broadcasters talking about Bitcoin achieving 100K. So I think that's most likely where price is going to. A lot of people are holding positions to 100K. Then maybe from there we'll start to take some profit. Bigger players lock in some gains as well. Then we might have a bit of relief, bigger pullback. Still think Bitcoin is probably destined to keep going higher than 100K. But I think before we might see the next pullback, that's probably where roughly it might happen. But in terms of what I'm expecting price to do is just continue to at least go and hit that 100K. So we are slowing down a little bit now, but that's not really to worry too much. We might consolidate for a little bit, but yeah, I expect us to break higher. So yeah, onwards and upwards for Bitcoin, at least to 100K, then we'll see how price reacts. Okay, let me go take a look at the DAX, and I'll go for US30, and there was another one, NZUSD. So yeah, the DAX, last time I looked at this one was yesterday, and we were looking a little bit bearish, and wow, we were very bearish. So wow, price ready to drop. So yeah, now we're back at this lower here again. So I would be looking for buys, but because the market has been so consistent with these lower highs here, I'd watch out for that. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, sort of. So the market is having a really hard time trying to continue. So if you can see some more rejection at these lows, similar to what we had last time, like over here, really nice wick piercing through, closed bullish, nice sign that price was trying to break through, but essentially failed. If you can see that sort of situation happen again, the reason I say that is because that has a huge bearish candle. So there's a lot of momentum in the market right now. So you want to see evidence of that momentum disappearing and leaving the market, and bullish momentum stepping in. And wicks is one of the best ways to see that happen. So if you can get some more wicks piercing through this level, and of course, if I go to the daily chart quickly, this level has proven to be sturdy resistance in the past. So I do expect it to act as support, and so far it's doing that. But I need to see some more evidence in that area that we're going to bounce. Then if we do bounce and we do get a nice buy, I wouldn't shoot for the moon either. I'll be looking to probably trail stops to break even or secure some gains as we approach this area here, because like I said, we're performing lower highs. The chances are we could see another one of those form, and price comes straight back down, and say goodbye to your floating profits there. So yes, we could see a continuation back to the high, but there's a lot of obstacles on our way that I have to break through. So if you are going to try and shoot for the moon here, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but look to manage that trade along the way, because there's many areas where price can turn against you, and yeah, and not hit your target. So I like the area for a bounce. Saw some really nice evidence of price holding a support there as well. So this is an area where you can expect price to hold again, but we need to see some strong rejection, because that's a huge candle, and we could see another big candle breaking straight through. So evidence of price holding, very, very important. Then some buys back into that area look good as well, and then we can go from there. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at the DAX. Yeah, really big move. In terms of US30, whilst we're on the topic of indices, now I'll go take a look at NZD after, and then I'll go through some yen pairs, because that's where I think the fun lies. So yeah, US30, interesting. Downside, looking good. I still want to see a lot more downside before getting long. 42,400. This is the area which I would at least look for price to get to before even considering to go long. Price has actually really respected the channel really, really well, I have to admit. We've had 1, 2, 3. That's a fake out, 4, 5 tests of this trend line. So it's a very, very sturdy trend line, and price has respected it well. So if we get there again, there's a good chance we bounce. Of course, waiting for confirmations, not jumping straight in, but that's a nice place to look for longs. And of course, the high of the range as well, price has respected it pretty well too. So naturally, if we can approach those areas, we're likely to bounce anyway. Whether we're going to create new highs from there, that's a different question. But at least expect to bounce, at least find some nice entries. That is the location to look out for. So yeah, for US30, I'll be looking at a lot more downside before taking some longs. Oh, that's the wrong tool. A lot more downside before taking some longs, and then yeah, we can speak about some buys later on. But that's essentially what I've got my eye on for US30. That's where all the confidence lies for me. So that's where I'll be waiting for price to get to. But yeah, I'm still bullish. Trend's still up, so I can't necessarily knock that, to be honest. And then yeah, as the USD, you said 0.382 retracement you're eyeing up. I assume it's from the high here. If you're drawing the fib from somewhere else, let me know. Now, I don't normally look at 0.382. I normally look at 0.5 onwards. So 0.5, 0.618, 0.786. Those are the areas I normally look at, because I want deeper corrections in the market rather than shallow ones. But 0.32 sometimes, does work its magic very well. Those are just setups that I'm not interested in personally. I see the confluence you're mentioning. So you're looking at this area here, I assume, retesting that low there where we had that strong break of momentum alongside the 0.382. So that looks like a nice area of confluence. The only thing is with NZUSD, with the shorts, is that If you are looking for shorts, you want to be not looking to hold the trade for too long, because if I expand to the daily chart, and I know you're probably trading in the lower time frames, so the higher time frames are not too much of your concern, but you do want to be aware of them. You can see where we're trading massive level of support, big bounce once, second time a huge bounce there as well. I'm not saying that we're going to have another huge bounce, but we're just in an area where buyers are sitting and sellers keep taking their profit essentially. Now, this level could break and we could go a lot further, but we don't know that yet. What we do know is that price has held this level very, very well a couple times as well. So if you are going to take some shorts at these prices, you don't want to stay in the trade for too long, just in case we do see a big push up. If you're shorting, say up here, for example, that's a different short than from down here. Shorts up there, you can be a little bit more aggressive with targets because you're not trading into any big areas. Whereas here, you do have a really big level prices testing. So yeah, with the short idea you just mentioned, it looks good. I like the area where it is trading. It's a nice area on the lower time frames where we could have a reaction, but I wouldn't try and be too aggressive. If you can get a trade from here back into the low there, I think that's a nice setup, or at least to bank some profits. If you are going to try and take it back to the low here, then be prepared for a price to potentially reverse against you. Trail your stops or take partial along the way, however you want to manage it. But I would be careful about that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. Big level support. So personally, for me, I would back away with the shorts. But if you are going to short, be prepared to take profits a little bit quicker because we are coming to a big level. And Kojo, I'll take a look at Euro Pound, and then I'll go through some yen pairs next because I'm eager to get into them. Thoughts on oil and pound CAD? Okay, we'll take a look at those as well. Okay, looking for shorts. Yeah, oil were pretty bearish, weren't we? I think I haven't actually been keeping up to date with oil. True, that's true, Yilmaz. I mean, again, I'm a very technical based trader. If gold keeps flying high and it stops me out of the trade, my risk is managed. I'll take the L. But what would be a very poor situation is if I do get a setup on gold that ticks all my boxes, then I don't take the trade and it does play out. And it's like, okay, why didn't you take the trade? Maybe I did have good reasons, fundamentals. Yeah, that's a good reason to not take a trade or to take a trade. But as a technical trader who has tested their strategy over a number of years, I've got to take the setups I find. And of course, I'm not going to take every setup, but if it's a really good setup that ticks my box as well, I'm going to take it. And like I said, if I do stop out, I'll manage my risks. So worst case scenario, take a small loss and we'll move on. But that's a good point, though. That's a good point. So yeah, in terms of pound CAD, Euro Aussie, and Euro pound. Euro pound, we saw a bit of upside, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, still looking pretty corrective though. This is still my preferred place to long Euro pound because, of course, we know where we're trading a massive level on the monthly chart. So I do expect us to bounce from here. Yeah, as we can see, humongous level of support. So I do expect us to push up at some point. And we had that nice fake out on the 4-hour chart, which was beautiful because it turned into a really nice buy setup there. After we faked the low, stopped out a lot of liquidity here, push up, retest, textbook stuff. When you see a fake out, you're looking for price to retest that area it faked out, and then you're expecting the continuation. And that's exactly what we got there with Euro Pound. In terms of where I'm expecting price to get to, there's a massive area of resistance here on the 4-hour chart, which I think is a healthy place to expect price to get to because it's far enough where it's a decent move, but it's not too far that we're looking for unrealistic. We are trading a big monthly level, so price could potentially really fly here. But I think because Euro pound is just so choppy, you don't want to be too optimistic with the pair regardless. But in terms of a nice place to buy, this is still my preferred area. So if price was to see some downside back here, that would be my preferred area to long from, stops below, and take a trade that way. I was talking about this area this week as well. Not quite sold on that break and retest, I have to admit. I mean, it is retesting, but I like my breakouts to be a little bit bigger. I like my breakouts to be bigger, and I like bigger pullbacks as well. This is a bit too shallow for my liking. It's a bit too messy in there too. So I would still like this setup here for longs and euro pound, but I am expecting us to push back into 0.843 and probably beyond that as well. If we really do reject that monthly level, that's still my preferred setup for euro pound. In terms of oil, I think we're coming off a low here, aren't we? We bounced off. Did we bounce off the weekly level? No, didn't quite get there. So yeah, this is the level I'm focusing on in the weekly chart, where I'm looking for us to get into, bounce from, and where we could see a lot of upside. And we didn't quite get there. We gapped to the upside at the start of the week. So maybe price has got some gaps to fill, and that might be what you're looking at there, Will. Massive gap here. Price could go and fill that this week. I think shorts look good on oil. It's not the best price in terms of where I would want to short. We spoke a lot about 72 up here. Fantastic level to short from. And we're not just saying that in hindsight, because before we did get the sell, we were talking about 72 up here over that in that initial sell area. Then we came back there again, saw some more rejections, and really nice sell there for a second time. So that's really, if price was to get there again, that's where I'll be looking to short as well, because effectively all oil is doing is ranging, between the high here and the low. If you kind of just ignore this massive breakout there, all price has been doing is respecting the high, respecting the low, back and forth. So you're shorting at the top of the range, which is where you want to short in a range at the high. In here, we're kind of more central, so that's why I'm not a big fan of the location, but I admit this is a nice level here on the 4 hour respect. If you can get a stop above the high, you can refine that stop loss pretty well, and then you're probably looking to take it back into the low. So the risk reward profile is pretty good from that level to that level there. It's just the location I'm not a big fan of. Here's a little bit better because we're at the top of the range, better place for a stop loss. Here's a bit more in the middle, so that's why I don't like it as much. But if you can get an entry here, stop loss above the high there, you're looking good. And if it does play out, you're looking at a decent risk to reward, and there is still quite a lot of bearish momentum in the market as well. But yeah, I do like that 172 level quite a lot. In terms of pound CAD, you said you're also looking at shorts for this one as well. Yeah, I wouldn't be looking for shorts for pound CAD anymore unless you're waiting for a pullback for price to get back here, because that's the setup I was discussing as well at the start of the week. If price was to push back and retest this area here, 1.79, I think that looks like a great place to short from, and expect continuation. Really solid breakout with all that momentum. Haven't yet had a retest of that area, so it's still fresh resistance. So if we were to get back there, there's a good chance we'll probably hold and probably continue as well. So I like that setup there for pound CAD. At current price, I wouldn't be shorting because, of course, we're coming to support. Maybe if you're looking for the break and retest of that, that could possibly tempt me, but it needs to be a really strong breakout if that's going to be the case. But for now, this is still the more preferred area to short from for myself for pound CAD. And in terms of Euro Aussie, and then I'll go through some yen pairs. Then in terms of Euro Aussie, oh, would you look at that? That's not a trade I don't have. That's just a setup I was talking about last week. Basically, just capitalizing on the head and shoulder pattern. Got the left over there, the head over there, and the right shoulder. But yeah, it wasn't a setup that I liked, to be honest. This Euro Aussie setup is playing out well, and that's the thing about the market. You could take some setups which don't really tick your boxes well, or which aren't very high quality, but they still play out sometimes. And that can be quite deceiving because you take those setups more often, where you're better off just waiting for the best quality setups. And sometimes they fail as well. So it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes you wait for the best quality setup and it still fails. Of course, nothing's perfect. But in the long run, you take 100 of those trades, you'd be much better off. But yeah, Euro Aussie, we were talking about the retest here last week. That was a nice bearish engulfing candle there. Stop loss above the high. It depends how big a stop loss you had. You might have been stopped out there. We can always look for the re-entry. And yeah, that was a nice move to the downside. I would expect us to get back to the low, really, to be honest, and probably the low down here as well. So if I go to the daily chart, essentially we've got this big range here, and this is the lows. Price keeps coming back to retest. So I would be expecting us to make a move back down to that low there. So in terms of getting an entry in Euro Aussie, unless price was to come back up and retest the high, you might have missed the boat. I'm not a big fan of the buys here, just because I'm expecting us to break that level eventually and come back to the low there anyway. So if you're looking to buy, I'd probably just rather wait for us to get to 1.605 anyway. But yeah, the shorts are kind of in play. So unless price does push up again, which it might do, the price is very choppy. Look out for that. If not, this is kind of the next best setup, I would say, unless you're looking for a scalp off that low, maybe. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm looking at for Euro Aussie. In terms of the yen pairs, so as we just spoke about briefly, I am looking for a really big move to the downside for these yen pairs, a really big move, because it stems from the higher time frames, the weekly chart. That's the 11-week chart. There we go. So the move bias comes from the higher time frames, the weekly chart. As you can see, major resistance on the left there. Price is now respecting that resistance again. So another head and shoulder pattern similar to what we saw in Euro Aussie. Price is going to hold this. This is where I'm expecting us to reject and possibly see a big push to the downside. And yeah, continue back to the lows there at 155. So in my book, this is a bearish signal. This is a bearish setup. And if as long as we don't go and take out the high here, which is at 166, 167, we'll call it, as long as we don't suddenly go and take out that high, I will remain bearish for Euro yen. If we do take out the high, then that's a bullish signal for me. Then I'll be looking for that to happen back to the high there. There we go. That's a better drawing. Back to the high. But as long as we don't do that, I'm looking for that head and shoulder pattern to play out and us to start trending lower. So I'm very, very bearish in Euro Aussie. Again, I don't really have a setup for myself just yet, really. We're just about coming to some support here on the left. So again, not really the time to be looking to short right now. And the funny thing is, it looks like we're forming another mini head and shoulder pattern here as well. Kind of like here as well. So I kind of want to see something like this happen. And that looks like a really nice setup, retesting the neckline. That looks like a really nice trade. And hopefully that could be a trade where I can just trail stops and let price do its thing. But that's kind of the thing with the yen pairs. Apart from pound yen, there was no other yen pair that actually was ready for me to short. Yeah, I do have the bearish bias in place, but there was no short opportunity that fits my plan. And still with Euro yen, there's no opportunity yet. I'm looking for entries for now until we get that break lower, and then I'll start looking to short. And yeah, look and see if we can take it back to 155. But due to the higher time frames, I'm pretty bearish. If we go over to CAD yen, it's the same situation as well. As I said at the start of the week, CAD yen, Euro yen, pound yen, the yen pairs which look the best to me. So here's CAD yen on the weekly chart. As you can see, resistance down the left, a lot of wicks into this area, more rejection there, a lot more wicks again. So it's a sign that price is really struggling at these prices. And again, if we are going to reject it, the good chances we're going to push to the lows right back down into that level of support at 105. So another sign in the weekly chart that was struggling and likely to bleed. So yeah, that's why I'm really bearish. So with CAD yen dropping onto the lower charts, I'm waiting for us to break structure first, and then hopefully we can use that to our advantage and find some shorts on the retest to take price a lot lower. 109,600 is the area I'm looking at. It might look a little bit different when I actually get the setup. I might be looking for the retest of this low. It depends how big the breakout is, how aggressive the pullback is as well. But predominantly, that's kind of what I'm looking at for shorts. In terms of some of the other yen pairs, like Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, these guys look good as well. They just need to break out the range. So as we can see, this is the range we've been trading in. If pricing finally commits the downside below that, then I will be starting to look for opportunities on the retest of the lower end of the range. So this area, most likely. And yeah, with this one, if I expand to the higher time frames, again, looking for this to be a impulse move, this to be a corrective move of that impulse. And possibly you could see a continuation and targets more or less back into that low. So the idea is pretty much the same for these yen pairs. If we're going to drop, they're all going to drop. And then it's just about finding which yen pair can give you an entry to get involved. And yeah, I'm not too bothered which one it is, to be honest, as long as I can get a good trade. And then, yeah, New Zealand yen, pretty much the same thing as well. Big range here, looking for that drop there for possible continuation. Therefore, looking for a push back into the lows here is pretty much the target. But first, we need to take out the low of the range. Then I can start discussing some shorts on the retest of that area. And then, yeah, more continuation. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at with the yen pairs. Very, very bearish. Very, very bearish. But no setups yet, apart from pound yen, which sold off without me yesterday, unfortunately. I was looking for the retest of this level here yesterday for pound yen. And yeah, it did fall to the downside and break the lows there as well. So pound yen, I'll still like the retest of that level, 197. It's still valid if price was to push back and retest that area. Still an opportunity I would take. Still looking to catch that next lower high. One over there, second there, third, still looking for the fourth one in that same area. But of course, if we keep falling, the chance of us seeing a pullback to that level decrease. And if we have some nice momentum, I'll probably look for the retest of this area rather than that one at 197. But for now, still do like the high there. And we'll wait and see if we get the opportunity. If not, hopefully the other yen pairs could set up for me. Cooking, what's up? Your seat chef looks like goodbye. Okay, I'll go through that one shortly. Okay, looking for break and retest. Okay, I understand. On pound CAD. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Just need to see a strong break, really. Annie, what's up? Hope you're well. I'm doing good. Do you think silver's touching 32 with the current momentum? Hopefully. I'm still currently low on silver. To be fair, I have secured gains. I've closed about 50% of my profits on silver. So I'm kind of getting ready to go against that buy soon because I'm getting ready to short gold, which is not far off my level. Yeah, it's climbing slower by the minute here. This is where I'm looking to start to look to short gold. We might push a little bit higher, but that's my area. But yeah, silver has seen some nice momentum. Do we get to 32? 32 is kind of where my initial target is up there. Maybe. It's hard to say because we've seen a lot of consecutive bullish candles. So in my opinion, the market's a bit stretched. Therefore, I do expect silver to see a bit of a drop at some point. We may still go and push to 32, but I still expect us to see a bit of a drop. Very rarely we just keep pushing and see bullish candle after bullish candle after bullish candle. We will have a bit of a correction at some point. And overall conditions are still pretty choppy. Mine's that big push to the upside. Overall, the market's been really, really flat with silver. So yes, I think we do get to 32. I've secured gains and trail stops. So if we get to 32, great. If we don't, we don't. But I do have a really bearish bias on gold. So if gold does tank and do what I'm expecting to do, then that probably will take silver to the downside as well. Of course, I may be wrong on gold and we keep pushing, but that is the move I'm looking to capitalize on. But yeah, silver has had some nice momentum, I have to admit. So we'll see if that continues. But because it has stretched a little bit, I do expect us to contract and see a bit of a pullback. And you can see we're starting to see some wicks now with these candles. So I do expect a dip, maybe to retest the high there, and then we might see the next wave. Oh, It's also an NJ yesterday, but didn't take it, and it yanked 2 hours ago. Tanked. Tanked. Similar. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about the yen pairs. When they do decide to go, it's go time. If you're in there, great. If you're not, you're probably going to miss out because they don't normally give you a little get sign that they go. I mean, of course you get a setup, but if you don't get a setup, they will definitely leave without you. And I'm talking specifically about the shorts because the buys, they're a bit more slower. They have more frequent pullbacks. There's more dips to buy. But you can even see just with the force we're selling off at, really strong move there, really strong move there, strong move there as well. The sells don't mess around, which is why I like the shorts because if you do catch them right, they normally just go in your favor very well. But yeah, at the moment, pound yen is the only yen pair which actually is fitting my criteria on a pullback. Other yen pairs, I need some break of structures or a break of support first before I can look for the pullback to short. So I need to stay patient with that, but I expect them to unfold as the weeks go on. I think the theme from now to the end of the year with the yen pairs will be a lot of downside. So it doesn't have to set up today or even this week, but if I can get some shorts next week, I'm not going to complain with them. The key thing is just getting into a good opportunity. I haven't spoken about dollar yen, or I will take a look at Euro CHF quick, and I haven't forgot. I haven't spoken about dollar yen because dollar yen is still actually effectively in a nice trend here, actually. So that's why I haven't really been speaking about dollar yen, because although the other yen pairs look good for shorts, dollar yen still be grinding to the upside. Of course, USD's had a big part to play in that, and still does really. If USD is going to keep being strong, then that probably will try and cancel out the yen weakness. I think yen strength. Sorry, if yen's going to be strong, dollar yen will fall, but it'll be a much slower rate. It'll be a lot more corrective than the other yen pairs. So yeah, I'm not as eager to trade this one until I see that break of structure really break the lows out with some nice momentum. Then I'll consider shorting, and even then, I probably still won't get involved with dollar yen because we have broken through really strong resistance on the higher time frames. So I need price to be trading underneath this. If we see a strong close and price closes below, then that's a different situation. And yeah, I will be looking at shorts. But this is the same level that CAD yen and Euro yen are rejecting. If we quickly take a look at CAD yen, you can see price is rejecting that level and doing it pretty well. Euro yen, same thing, doing it pretty well as well. So these shorts look a lot better because they're holding their levels, whereas dollar yen is currently breaking through and still giving me higher highs and higher lows as well. So I'm not really eager to short dollar yen, to be honest. If anything, it still looks like a decent buy setup. So yeah, I'm just not looking to trade this one. And CHF JPY, that one is similar to dollar yen. But yeah, if I'm looking to short this, I need that to break structure as well. Yeah, that's the main swing low that gave us the high. I know you can probably look at this swing low here as well, as that's the swing low that gave us the high. But that's too kind of minor for me to look at. I like looking at the major swings. So if we do get the break of that, I know there's a very good chance we're probably going to continue selling off and continue falling there. So that's really what I'm looking for again. So obviously quality over the quantity. So that's what I'm waiting for with CHF JPY as well. But for now, just waiting on a lot of break of structures, break out the consolidations regarding New Zealand yen and Aussie yen, and then hopefully either retest of that level in pound yen, or break and retest on euro yen or CAD yen, and that will get me the trades I'm looking for on the yen pairs. But it will take some time. In terms of Euro CHF, you said you're looking for a buy. Okay, I see why price pushed back into the low here pretty aggressively, looking for a bit of a bounce. Yeah, I think it's a decent trade. I mean, I would love this to be on the opposite side. So, for example, if we had this push to the upside, and the market was hitting this level, I would like those shorts a lot more, simply because it's with the trend of the market. We've been pretty bearish for quite a while. Market's been slowly falling to the downside. So I would have that bearish bias for Euro CHF. So I'd always rather be looking to short the pair than long the pair. Not that I won't long the pair, but yeah, in terms of playing the range, I always like shorting or getting involved in a range which is in the direction of the trend. So if the market's falling, then I'll look to take advantage of the shorts of the range. If the market's rising, I look to take advantage of the longs of the range. So the buys here do look good. I do think we can get a bounce. I just wouldn't look to shoot for the moon because we might just go and break through that on the next attempt. But yeah, it's a nice place for a bounce. I like the rejection there on the previous 4-hour candle. There was a lot of momentum there, but prices showed some nice rejection. So I think it's a nice place for a buy. Yeah, I'll just watch out, but yeah, trying to take it too far. I think, let me measure out the 50. So yeah, we got the 50 there. I think that's a nice target to have. If you can get it to the 50, secure some gains there, then you can leave the rest to run to see if it does the full range. But in terms of an area of support, I do like it. We're taking out some lows here on the left too. So I do think we can see a little bit of a bounce. So yeah, not a bad setup. Not a setup I would look at personally myself, but you know, if we are going to bounce at that low and see price react, that is an area I expect us to bounce from. So yeah, Euro CHF does look decent for a buy. And I think that 50% of that range area, 0.93750, looks like a nice place to target. I mean, I'm looking at some buys on another CHF pair, New Zealand CHF is where I'm looking to see if I can get some longs. And it's a similar situation, except we're coming to a really big level on the daily/weekly chart. And I'm looking to see if we can get a bounce from this area. I want price to stretch a little bit further to the low here first before taking the buy. But if that does happen, I will be looking for some entries in that area, see if I can take it back to the upside. But this again is more counter trend play as well. But I like it because we're coming into a really big level in the weekly chart. I can see prices having a hard time trying to break through. So that's why I like that particular area. But yeah, the CHF pairs are overall bearish. So if you're buying in general, it is counter trend. So it's a bit more aggressive play. If the trend does change, great. We could be on some nice winners. If not, be prepared to exit quickly. If the trend is looking like it's gonna continue. But these are nice areas where I do expect us to have a bit of a bounce. Previously, major reaction. Did see a nice one there as well. Expecting a third one at that level. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on New Zealand CHF. It is on my watch list. In terms of the markets which are on my watch list, like I said, with the yen pairs, still waiting for a lot of breakage structures, but pound yen looks good, so I'm keeping an eye on that one. But the one that's really at the top is gold. Gold shorts is a setup I really do like. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for at the moment. And as I said, that could potentially happen later today. So I need to keep an eye on that. We could see price push up a little bit further. Tag that area. I'm looking for wicks. I'm looking for engulfing candles on the 4-hour chart. And that will be what my trigger is for the trade. And we're not too far away. Seeing a lot of momentum at the start of the week, to be honest. So yeah, looking good. And we just keep flying since then. So yeah, if we can push into 2650, I will look for some entries, and the goal would be to swing it back to the low. But we'll see how things look. We'll see how things look along the way. But at the moment, I am profiting from that move up as well. So it's about timing it correctly. Getting out the buys at the right time to get into the sells. Worst case scenario, you kind of miss out on the continuation in silver because you're shorting gold and you take a loss on gold as well. But because I've already banked profit on silver, if I was to take a loss on gold, the profits from the silver should counteract the loss there. So worst case scenario, take a break even overall between the two trades. Best case scenario, exit the silver long well, get into some nice shorts on gold, and take advantage of that move there too. So yeah, that is definitely what my plan is. And I said New Zealand CHF looks good as well, but we're not quite there yet, unfortunately. Still need a little bit more downside before I can look to long. What's up, CS Integrated, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well, my man. Hope you're doing good. As I said previously, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to smash the like button. It does really help out. If you haven't done already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do hit the bell as well, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you check out the Elevating Trades Discord channel, completely free to join as well. Link to that at the top of the chat and also in the description below. Join that community, completely free to join, chat with myself, other traders as well. So yeah, if you are looking to join, have at it. But yeah, is anyone looking at any positions at the moment? I know it's a lot of people have missed out on some yen moves, me included. But as a part of trading, of course, you're going to capitalize on every move. The important thing is looking back at the trades that you do take. You know, are they good quality? Do they tick your boxes well? You know, are you timing your trades correctly? You know, that's the questions you really should be asking, because you know, if you miss trades here and there, okay, it happens to everyone. But the trades, are you taking, of their good quality? You know, if they're not of good quality, then that's kind of where your biggest concern is. Hey, what's up, Kwame? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, so far so good. Deeks will hit 106, 141 nicely. Wonder where it will go. Yeah, USD. I'm still looking for the weakness. I'm still looking for 105,500, which is this level here. Let me just get rid of my arrows, which look a little bit confusing. So yeah, I'm still looking for price to retrace back to 105,500, which is the retest of the high. We've broken through, haven't seen a solid retest of that area yet. So I'm still looking for price to see if we can pull back into that level. Then maybe from there we continue. Maybe we come back, retest this area, and just and be on our way. Or maybe we have a deeper correction. But we've had a nice range. Price is broken out of that range, and to me, it looks like it's coming back to retest it. This 4-hour candle closes in the next 49 minutes. And if you can close similar to how we're looking right now, I do like that big wick to the upside, and that could be the start of possibly some downside for the afternoon. If we do see more momentum and we do break the highs, then I think that's also a nice opportunity for a short as well. We might push up first, take the highs out, then drop. But at the moment, it looks like we're having a break and retest of that range. Either which way, though, I'm expecting downside for USD. I'm still short bias, trading at such a big level. You know, I'm not looking at longs at this opportunity. If I'm looking to take advantage of buys in USD, then it's because we've had a big retracement, not at these prices. Still testing a big level on the weekly chart. So yeah, looking for some downside. And to me, it just looks like we're retesting the range there. What's up, Kwame? Looking bearish swing on New Zealand dollar on the 4-hour. Can we have a look? Okay. Few people talking about bearish swing on New Zealand dollar. So yeah, I'm not quite seeing a good setup New Zealand dollar for myself. Let me know where you're looking at, you know, taking your shorts. At the moment, price is still testing a really big level of support on the higher time frame. So that's kind of the main reason I'm against the shorts, because of where we're trading. You know, I can't be looking to short these prices for two reasons. The market's very stretched to the downside. We had a really big move down. And then number two, we're testing a really big level of support. You know, I would like to follow the momentum, but I can't follow it into these areas because we've seen aggressive reactions in the past. So this is where I kind of want to stay away. If anything, buys look good at these levels. So if I am going to look for 4-hour continuations of that momentum, I need price to have a big bounce away before I can decide that. I need price to at least be trading at the 50, 0.618 areas. So if I draw a fib from that high to that low, let me get rid of the 0.382. I need price to at least come back into this area here to even consider shorting. And even if I do short, I won't be staying for long. I want to take my profit fairly quickly, or trail aggressively, because yeah, at these prices, you can see, you know, the couple times we were here, really big rejections. Who's to say we can't see something like that a third time? So I need to be careful with that and not trying to overstay my welcome here with New Zealand dollar. If you are going to be shorting, yes, there's a lot of momentum, and yes, you're probably just looking at pro trend opportunities, continue that momentum. But overall, yeah, we're coming into some big areas of support, which you can't ignore on the daily chart. So yeah, shorts do look good because you're trying to follow up momentum, but you want to wait for that pullback. 0.5, 0.618, these are the healthy areas. And again, even if you see a reaction, I'm not going to expect something like this to happen. It can do, but I won't expect it. And if we can get to the low, I'll be looking to secure gains really as soon as we get there. So yeah, I would be careful looking to short New Zealand dollar. Yeah, very careful looking to short New Zealand dollar. Market's very stretched and we're coming to some big levels. I'm looking at the same sort of setup on euro and pound as well. You know, I'm looking for price to at least get back to some of those areas before shorting. But even that, you know, as we approach the low there, I'm looking to walk away with profits. Pound USD, same thing too. Market stretch coming to some big levels. If you get some shorts there, walk away from the low. Gold, similar situation, except gold's coming from a high, so I don't mind trying to stretch gold a little bit further. I know gold has been tanking, but because on the higher time frames, overall gold has been an uptrend since the beginning of the year, really. You know, the market is stretched. What's the average yearly range for gold? Let me go find that out. Actually, let's make that 20. So the average yearly range for gold is 241359. And this candle, since the start of the year, yeah, we've kind of tripled that. So the candle for the year is massively overstretched right now. Um, Massively overstretched because I think because that translates to, I'm trying to get the pip count correct, because that move there on gold is, that's 1,100 pips. So I think it might be 10,000. I don't know, but I just know that the market is done 3 times its average range for the year. So the market is very, very stretched for the year. So I do expect us to start to see some downside as we approach the end of the year, because we need to put that top wick at the end. Of course, how far we stretch the opposite direction, that's a different question. But looking at the average range for gold for the year, it's massively massively overperforming. So I do expect us to contract a little bit as we approach the end. So that's why I like gold shorts a lot better, because gold's pretty stretched, likely to top out at some point, and we probably have put the top in for the year, to be honest, here in October. So yeah, it would be highly surprising for me to expect price to go and take out that high, you know, with this move. So I expect the top out somewhere, and 2650 would be that area. So yeah, looking to take advantage of some shorts on gold at that area. We'll be looking for my bearish engulfing candles, and that's when I look for my entries. But yeah, the market's pretty stretched, 3 times its average range for the year, looking at the past 20 years of data. So yeah, I don't see the market keep pushing. for long. But the other USD pairs, they've been falling for a while. They're not at all-time highs. So with them, it's always a little bit difficult. I think Aussie dollar, keep an eye on that one, actually. If you're looking to short New Zealand dollar, if you get the same confirmations of Aussie dollar, I think that will be the better trade because Aussie dollar hasn't hit that big level yet. I still expect Aussie dollar to keep falling at least back to 0.64 before we do have a bounce. Whereas, of course, against the USD, we've already hit a big level. So yeah, already hit a big level. So I would be careful shorting, but Aussie dollar, we haven't hit that area yet. So I expect price to keep falling till we get there. And then we can look at a big bounce from there. But in the meantime, there might be shorts on the way down to take advantage of that move. So yeah, that's kind of why I do like the look of Aussie dollar. But anyway, we've gone through some USD pairs, we've gone through yen pairs. Let's go through some of the crosses. As I said earlier, looks like I have missed out on that Euro CAD move, but looks like Holy One's profiting from that, which is always good to see. But yeah, really nice break and retest. Again, the reason why I did stay out of the market was because of that weekly candle closure last week. Not a big fan of that big wick, so I did stay out of the market. But it looks to me that price is still holding that area's resistance pretty well. Of course, very textbook stuff here. Price support, breakout, retest. Now expecting the continuation. Really nice drop this morning. So just expecting price to maintain that momentum back into the low. So EuroCAD looking really, really good, I have to admit. Looking very bearish. Pound CAD, another market which I was looking to short this week. Doesn't look like I get the opportunity. Retesting 1.79. This one had a lot of momentum last week as well. Left behind a really nice level of support, which hasn't come back for a retest yet. So I know this level is very fresh. And what I mean by fresh is that we haven't got a retest yet, because typically when you're looking for break and retest setups, you want to take the first retest. You don't want to be looking at the second, third, fourth, because if the market is going to have a good reaction, really pull away, normally we retest it once and we go away, sometimes twice. So I like it when price breaks a level and doesn't come back to retest it. So when I do take a trade, it's the first time price is retesting, therefore normally get the best reaction. And that's the case we have now with pound CAD. Really strong break, hasn't come back to retest that area since the break. So if we do, and there's a good chance we'll have at least an initial reaction. Whether we continue to lows, that's a different question, but I do expect a bounce. So yeah, pound CAD looking pretty bearish. We may still push to retest 1.79, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. I would look for the retest of this low. It just has to mean we have a strong break, just like we did over here. If we could see a similar break like this happen there again, then yeah, I would look for the retest of that same low for continuation. I would look for the same thing. But it's got to be a strong break. It's got to be a strong break and clear the level by some distance before I would contemplate to look for the retest myself. But yeah, pound CAD I am pretty bearish on. And I'm looking at the market continuing. In terms of Aussie CAD and pound CAD, as I mentioned earlier, Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD, there could be some nice buys here for Aussie CAD on the bounce of the lower end of the channel. Essentially, if you're looking for that double bottom, this is the area for it. If I expand to the daily chart, you'll see what I'm referring to. Overall, market has been pushed to the upside, higher highs and higher lows. It's a very, very corrective trend, so that's why I'm not really eager to look to follow the trend and keep looking to buy. I do think it's sooner rather than later, price is going to break out the channel and see some nice continuations, and that's what I'm really looking for. I think there's going to be a bit of time before that happens. At the moment, we are bouncing off that low, and there's a good chance we'll see a reaction, which we really have done. But if you're looking for the double bottom, that opportunity still lies there as well. So keep an eye on that if you are bullish. I just don't expect it to go too far. And if we would see a push back into the high here, I think that's a sensible place to lock in some gains and maybe look to trail some stops. New Zealand CAD are in a similar situation as well in terms of, if I go to the higher time frames, you can see overall ascending channel in the market, connecting the higher lows here. So again, market still slowly pushing to the upside, but overall a very, very corrective trend. So I do expect us to break lower at some point. and again come back to retest these lows. And that's the move I'm more interested in, because I expect that's where the momentum lies in the market. Correction, continuation. Um, at the moment, this is a nice area, yes, but I don't expect us to go too far. So again, similar to Aussie CAD, might see a nice double bottom in that area, bounce. Just don't expect us to go too far. I think if you can get it into this area, that's a decent trade in itself. Probably looking at a 1 to 2, 1 to 3, maybe, depends on your entry, back into that area. Anyway, so that's a good trade. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Welcome. I'm doing good. If you're looking at something, let us know. We'll take a look. But yeah, I hope you're well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with New Zealand CAD, and that's kind of where I'm at with the CAD pairs in general. So I'm looking for a lot of downside in the CAD pairs. I'm just waiting for Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD to break out these ascending channels, and then I can start adding them to the watch list and looking for opportunities. In terms of pound CAD and Euro CAD, pound CAD, well, Euro CAD looks like I missed the boat with that one, but pound CAD, if it's going to retest 1.79, yeah, let's go and do that so I can get the trade. If not, then I might be looking to retest of that low, but I need to see a similar breakout like we saw here, and a big one if I'm going to get that retest. But there is a lot of room to the downside with pound CAD, because we have now broken out that ascending channel and broken out that trend line as well. So this could now open up the floodgates for pound CAD. So yeah, I will look for the shorts. Just need that momentum. In terms of some of the crosses, we haven't really gone through some of these guys like pound Aussie, pound NZD, and kind of rightly so, because I'm not a big fan of these guys, to be honest. Yeah, not a big fan of the price action at all. Looking at the higher time frames as well, nothing too brilliant. I mean, the area I'm looking to buy from for pound Aussie, because we are, pretty consistent with these higher lows here. Got the initial one over there. Well, not initial, but there's a higher over there. A third over there potentially. I do like this area over here. Should the market come in retest, that's kind of where I'm looking for us to get into for the buy. Which is a bit more of a longer term swing trade, but it does give me what I'm looking for. So 1.93 is where I'm looking for the entries. Just need price to get there. Still pretty far away as well. Might take a few days for us to get there. Probably not even this week as well. But right now, middle of nowhere, price is kind of just ranging. Got the highs roughly around there, lows down there. Price is in the middle of that. So I would really stay away from getting involved in any setups right now for pound Aussie, because not really trading at anywhere of significance and anywhere which I would look to get involved and hold a position. So yeah, nothing really there for me for pound Aussie. Hey, good to hear. Congratulations, Chris. Congratulations. You are now a graduate. Hope the graduation went well. I'm not sure how it could not, but I hope it went well. But yeah, congratulations on becoming a graduate, my man. Well done. Guess you're gonna have a bit more time for trading now. But yeah, congrats. Oh, first December trading. Interesting. How's December trading? December is pretty good, to be fair. I normally don't trade the last week of December. So let's see when that last week is. The last week of December. Okay, that was a bit awkward actually. Yeah, I normally don't trade from like the 24th of December to the 2nd of January, because that week is very dry normally, and you've got the Christmas holidays and then you've got the New Year's holidays as well, all within that kind of 7-day window. So it's always a bit awkward to trade that week. So I tend to take that week off. But the 3 weeks prior, normally a lot of momentum, especially the first 2 weeks of December. That's just a normal standard couple of weeks in the market, especially end of the year. Still a lot of activity. It's kind of from maybe like the 20th onwards, the market will become a bit more quiet as some people take their breaks for Christmas. So yeah, I think if you're looking to trade the first week of Christmas, which first week of December, which starts on the second week of December starts on the 9th, and the third week of December starts on the 16th and finishes on the 20th, which is a Friday. Those first 3 weeks, I'll be looking to trade. The next week after, which starts on the 23rd, ends on the 27th, I'll probably take off. And then the following week after that starts on the 30th December. And then I'll start trading on that Thursday, which is the 2nd of Jan. So 30th, 31st, 1st, I'll take off. And then, yeah, 2nd of Jan, Thursday, I'll start back up again. But yeah, that's the only time of the year which I would just actively take off. Of course, I might take other breaks within the year, but that's due to personal reasons. This is the only time I'll take off due to just the market being dead. I know Christmas, the market's closed. New Year's, the market's closed. And besides that, the market's very, very flat anyway. So it's not even worth really trading, to be honest. But yeah, aside from that, the first 3 weeks, pretty good. Hey, PhD graduate. Wow, that's impressive, man. PhD. I have to call you Dr. Chris now. Dr. Christopher. Pleasure to have you on the stream. What's the PhD in, if you don't mind me asking? But yeah, congratulations. How many years did that PhD take in terms of the overall journey there? But yeah, that is impressive, Dr. Christopher. So yeah, Euro Aussie. As I went through with this one, we had the kind of head and shoulder pattern, looking for some more downside with this one. But yeah, that boat seems to have sailed a little bit there. So unless price was to come back and retest that high, probably going to get a decent trade there. In terms of Euro NZD, wow, literally spitting image, retesting of the high, head and shoulder opportunity, and now price is looking pretty bearish. And expect price to push into the low. I mean, overall, I still don't like the market because it's consolidating, which is why I haven't really been keeping a close eye on it. Yeah, if we are going to break out this head and shoulder, then where I'm expecting us to go would be right back down to the low here and just kind of see another swing of the range. So there could be some nice shorts here actually with Euro NZD on the break of that neckline. If price can show us some momentum below that, I think that's a solid place for a short and some continuation. You got your left shoulder there, you got your head, and you got your right shoulder. So yeah, not the biggest fan, I must say, of Euro NZD, Euro Aussie, Pound NZD, and Pound Aussie. They're very kind of choppy pairs. So I tend to not trade them much. I mean, as under specific conditions, I do trade. Them. You know, if I'm looking for a lot of mean reversion techniques, which I've been working on a lot lately. If I'm looking for the mean reversion, try and take the highs and lows of the week, then these are some good pairs to trade actually. But if you're looking for pro trend opportunities, these pairs can be horrendous at sometimes just because they don't trend well. Much better off sticking with like Euro USD, the yen pairs, even CHF pairs really, even though they can be a bit choppy, they do trend overall pretty well. These guys though, for some reason they find it hard to really get going. And all you need to do is just look at the overall market there, very, very flat. So if you're looking at plucking the highs and trying to look for mean reversion, good opportunities here. Anything else, probably not the best pair to trade. But there could be a nice short-term trend if we clear that low. So I'll keep an eye on that. Back to 1.75. PhD in guidance, counseling, and conflict resolution. Nice. Dr. Chris, impressive, man. Congratulations. That's impressive. I don't really know many people with PhDs, so that's really impressive. It takes a lot of time, dedication for that. So I have to give it to you. Have to give it to you that. But happy to have you back on the streams and trading again, though. All right, take care, Will. Have a good one, my man. Gonna head down, keep an eye on gold. Okay, nice. I mean, that's what I'm gonna be doing as well. I'm gonna be focusing on gold as well. I like the shorts too, looking really, really good. I think there's a lot of downside to be had with gold. So if we can get to the 2650 area, I'll be looking to short as well. But take care. We'll see you on the morrow. Entering in the wrong place. So yeah, gold's still pushing. Not quite there yet, but slowly pushing up. What is the news this afternoon? I don't remember there's much news this week. I think we have PMI, but that's on like Friday or something, or Thursday. Okay, so we've got CPI for CAD. So if anyone's looking to trade any CAD pairs, you want to stay aware of that one. I'm not trading any CAD or looking to trade any CAD, apart from CADGen, but that's not ready yet. And then for USD, we got building permits. That's pretty much it. So yeah, not the biggest news in the world. Might see a bit of movement this afternoon at 1:30 with building permits, but it's not an NFP, it's not CPI, so I'm not going to expect too much trouble from that one. So yeah, relatively quiet this week. I'm pretty sure we got CPI and inflation for pound tomorrow, and then Thursday we got jobless claims for USD, existing home sales, inflation for yen, and your PMI for USD and CAD on Friday. So relatively normal week. Chris needs to counsel me and hold my trades long term. Well, that's what we got him in for. That's why Chris is here for some counseling advice. He got a PhD in it, so he knows what he's talking about. Learning lots more here moving forward. I mean, we all are. You don't wanna stop learning. No matter how good you get at anything, you need to always look to learn, because you could get better. So yeah, not really much this week in terms of the news. So I mean, that's a good thing, really. But of course, fundamentally, things can happen. Still in a bit of a dodgy climate, so need to be prepared for that. And that's why it's always a little bit tricky trading gold, as someone mentioned earlier. Because gold just has that tendency to keep going up during times of uncertainty and conflict. So even technically, things look like it might be bearish. If people just keep buying gold, then it doesn't really matter too much. Of course, that'll price in, and the technicals that will then look bullish. Yeah, I'm still a big fan of the shorts here for gold, so that's kind of where my focus will lie. But we'll see if we do get the entries I'm looking for. So yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that. And then New Zealand CHF is my other one I'm looking at, which is not quite there yet. Still has some work to do, but not far away. And then pound yen, because of the drop we had this morning, is a lot further away. It wasn't too far yesterday, but after that drop, it's definitely a lot further away from that level now. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the main thing I'm focusing on is gold, really. Gold, New Zealand CHF. So those are the two pairs I'm looking to see if I can get a trade this week. Yeah, I don't see like Euro USD or Pound USD retracing that much this week, so I won't be talking about the shorts probably. Same situation there for pound. So yeah, not really much too concerned about that. In terms of the CHF pairs, though, so like I said, New Zealand CHF, I like the longs. Other CHF pairs I'm not really the biggest fans of. I mean, CAD CHF, we had the big kind of rejection of that range there on the daily chart. So you've got the high of the range here, which price did a pretty good job at rejecting. You got the low of the range here, which price has done a pretty good job of rejecting as well. And yeah, looking for price to push back down to the lower end of that range. Really, that is the plan, because this is a massive rejection, a massive failed breakout, and a really strong shift of momentum on that Friday candle there as well. So I'm expecting naturally CAD CHF to find resistance here and continue falling. So we might see a pretty bearish CAD CHF. Of course, the CAD news will play its part this afternoon, but technically, I find it difficult to see more upside here right now. So yeah, if we are going to continue, I would be looking at downside. And I think the 50% is always a nice, good first target to have, which is around here. I think that's a healthy target to have, around 0.625. In terms of Aussie CHF, this one for me, middle of nowhere really, so I'm not a big fan of this opportunity at all. I like the highs up here. So if I'm going to get short, it's because price is trading up here. And then I like the longs down here. Everywhere else inside here is just range bound for me. So I'm not looking to do anything really. If I'm going to get involved, it's because price has made a move to the high, which I can short, or price has moved to the low, which I can long. Here, just indecision, choppiness, and just areas I want to stay clear away from. So yeah, nothing really there to report on there for CHF. Sure, there might be some intraday opportunities which you can buy and and exit within the day, within the week maybe. But I wouldn't look to hold anything longer than that, because the chances are price is going to chop around and probably come right back to your entry price. I mean, that could happen with the low, but at least you're at an area where if the price is going to reverse, it's probably going to be from this area, and that can go very, very far. Same thing with the shorts here as well. Nothing's perfect, but position yourself in the right areas. You put probability in your favor. If price is going to reverse or see a nice continuation, chances are you're going to be on the right side of that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie CHF as well. Euro CHF, we briefly spoke about. That one was looking pretty bearish after the fall, but it's coming back into the low of the range. So again, with this one, I'm looking for a bounce, but purely just because we're in a range here. So to me, I would expect price to react and see some upside. I think longer term, the bigger move is still to the downside on the higher time frames. Still looking for price to go and push into these lows and probably take them out. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting price to do. But for now, testing some key support, really big wick rejection there as well. So I do think we can bounce to the upside there for Euro Swiss. At least to the 50, which is what I marked here. This is 50% of the range. And then you've got your lovely pound CHF, which I have no idea what is doing. No idea what this market is doing. I mean, I would be looking at the continuation of this, possibly, but difficult to find a trade because all we're doing is just ranging. But if I had to make an educated guess, I would say we'll probably continue that momentum. If we can get a strong break of the low like this, then maybe I might look for some retest, but most likely there'll be better opportunities elsewhere, I have to say. So yeah, not a big fan of pound CHF. New Zealand CHF looks good for the long. And yeah, all the other CHF pairs, I'm letting slide. $1,000 pips from gold. Not too bad, to be fair. Not too bad at all. I like how you charge in pips as well. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the CHF pairs. How are we doing on the JPY basket and the JPY index? Because if those guys are seeing some momentum. Okay, so we did use that as support then. So that was the setup I was talking about yesterday. Come back, retest the support, and then break the high, which we did. I mean, We did, but we're struggling at the high there a little bit. But I expect us to continue. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm expecting price to see a lot more upside now. Really nice breakout of the channel. Looks like we're clearing the level. 65.20 is where I'm expecting us to get to now on the JPY basket, which is the retest of that low. If we go to the daily chart, you'll see a little bit better. So you can get the retest of that area. That's what I'm looking for us to get to. Maybe we might sell off. Maybe we might continue pushing. We'll see. But at least the push into that area is the next move we can probably expect for the next week. And then we'll go from there, see how price reacts. Maybe we turn around. Maybe we just crash straight through. And that will be the indication of a lot more upside for the yen basket, which of course is a lot more downside for the yen pairs. What's up, Lauda? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Welcome. But yeah, some nice upside there for the yen basket. Now, in terms of the yen index, I want to see some downside now. Okay, a little bit of downside. Didn't really set the world alight there, the market alight, but some nice bearish candle. Again, if that low can go, that's when I think the doors will really open up. I like the weekly candle close we had last week. Nice wicks to the upside. Overall, price is struggling to break through this area. Nice close with some exaggerated wick. So that tells me there's a good chance. Probably going to bleed this week or the next couple of weeks. And the next area of support I expect us to get to would be 35,500. So if that support there can clear, that's what I'll be looking as the catalyst to really get us selling off. So yeah, break 37,750. Then yeah, yen index expecting it to fall. And of course, I would expect yen to then be strong. Then you would expect the yen pairs to fall. The index is down. Yen the currency is strong. So if yen the currency is strong, that means the other yen pairs is partnered with. Well, you expect yen to be the stronger one, and then they will push down. So that's the correlation we're working with. So keep an eye on that support. If it breaks, it could be lights out for the yen pairs. But overall, I'm already bearish anyway. So I'm just waiting for some I's to be dotted and some T's to be crossed, especially for like Euro yen, for example. Break some structure, then I'll look for some shorts there. CAD yen, looking for a price to break some structure as well. Then I'll look for shorts below. And of course, you've got your lovely consolidations on Aussie and New Zealand yen, waiting for these to break. And I'll look for shorts on the retest and New Zealand yen as well. Waiting for that to break, get some shorts on the retest. And yeah, expecting a lot more downside. So yeah, we'll have to keep a close eye on those yen pairs because I think there's a lot more downside. Oh yeah, you did say you were shorting CHF JPY yesterday, didn't you? Caught the nice move. A lot of us in the beginning of the stream, Lauda was saying how we missed out on some yen pair moves this morning. But then you're strolling here with some nice profits with CHF JPY. But yeah, I think there's more downside to be had with the yen pairs. Like I said, I think we're seeing signs of price beginning to melt. So I do think price can really tank. Just need to wait for some confirmation. Some of them, like for example, Aussie yen here, New Zealand yen here, I need the break of the range, and I'm expecting us to come back into the low. So yeah, I personally see, because when I do analyze, I'm looking at the higher time frames. So if you can calculate a bias on the weekly chart, for example, then for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, I have expectation what the market's going to do. So then on the lower time frames, like the 4-hour chart, I'm just looking for my pullbacks and my trading opportunities in that direction. So that would translate to a break of structure here on New Zealand yen and a retest, and I'm shorter. But yeah, yen pairs, I'm seeing more downside. The only yen pairs which I'm not ready to short yet would be New Zealand yen. Would be dollar yen, because that's still fighting higher, still seeing higher lows and higher highs. So this one is not ready to be shorted yet in my book. I need price to break structure before I can even consider shorting. And then CHF JPY as well. Not quite taking my boxes yet. Still need this low to break as well before I'll consider shorting. So those two pairs not quite ready yet for me, but the other yen pairs look good. Just with a couple more break and retests, then I can find some opportunities. Holy one, would you ever consider? No, not really. Don't really see the need to trade the DXY because I'd rather just trade euro, and euro is the inverse of the DXY pretty much as well. So I'd rather just trade euro USD, which is going to have tighter spreads. Overall trading will be better, and the quality of the trades will be better as well. So I'd rather just trade euro USD than look at the DXY. And I think DXY is a good gauge in terms of just what USD is going to do. So I'd rather just use it as a confluence rather than a market to trade. And like I said, I'll just rather trade Euro USD each and every time. So I don't see the need to go and trade the DXY. So yeah. But of course, it's another market. There'll be opportunities to trade there, of course. But if there's an opportunity on the DXY short, there's most likely 9 times out of 10 going to be opportunity to go long in euro, and I'll just rather trade euro. So yeah, that's kind of my situation with the DXY. Tony Gold, what's up, my man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Xander, what is up? Thoughts on oil? Okay, we'll have a look at oil, no problem. Silver just tanked hard. That's an ugly candle on the 4 hour. No way, silver's tanking. Man, I should have saw that coming a mile away. Should have come, because why would it tank just on its own? Yeah, that is a nasty candle. That is a nasty candle. Tom, I should kick you off the stream for that, mate. So poor. Okay, let me go take a look at oil. Tom's trying to scare me on my own stream. What's going on there? Okay, so yeah, in terms of oil, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of oil right now. I liked it when it was at 72. 72 was nice, because of course, really solid resistance support. Always going to be a nice place to short. Of course, in hindsight, lovely move, but we were already talking about shorts, before it did make the move. Now that it has had a nice move, now I'd rather push a little bit lower, and then we can discuss some longs in 66. So around, around 66 is where I expect to bounce. How far it goes, difficult question. I still a bit counter trend, but if you're looking for a long, that's a nice place to look for. Breakup structure, some opportunities in that area, your bullish trading patterns. That's a nice place to anticipate some upside. Where we are right now is rejecting resistance pretty well, so we might hold on to that level and still short off. But I just don't like the location we're in because we're kind of in the middle of the range. So although you can get a nice stop loss here, I still think it's a little bit exposed a little bit. So if I'm going to short, it's because we're trading up here, which I know is a study level. Of course, I can still get stopped out as well, but I just rather, bet my money there rather than here. But again, not to say it won't work out. It's just this is where I'd rather take my trades. And then, of course, longs around here. We can discuss some longs for some buys. But we'll go into a bit more detail when we're there. Yeah, we're doing good, Tom. Hope you're well as well. Hope you're doing good. You still looking for shorts and gold? Because I'm still looking for shorts. We're not too far away, actually. We've seen a lot of upside as of late. We'll lose it, Watson. You want some clips there. But yeah, gold has seen some upside. So to be honest, I'm actually getting ready to close the silver trade. I've already closed some profits on silver. I'm actually looking to go and short gold right now. So it's a little bit an awkward situation because I'm long silver, but I want to short gold, and of course it doesn't make sense to buy silver and short gold. So it's a situation where I probably close the silver trade at some point to then open the gold shorts. But I'm not gonna close my silver trade until I see a setup on gold. So if gold just keeps flying high and we still keep pushing and it breaks through the levels I want to short from, so be it. I'll hold into my silver trade, let that do its thing. If gold gets to this area and I see a nice rejection, a nice bearish engulfing on the 4-hour, then I would close my silver trade and then just short gold. Yeah. So it's almost like a nice hedge, to be honest. But the idea on long and silver is always to take advantage of retracement to then short gold. So we had that big break of structure. I've been waiting for gold to retrace. It's finally retraced. Now it's not far away from my area. So if I do see a setup, I'll get involved and then close the silver. Oh, 5-1 risk reward. I know you're looking forward to that one. So yeah, I'm looking at something similar, but you probably will get a better entry than me because I know you don't look at the 4-hour chart. So yeah, I know you probably get a better entry, but I'll be looking at the 4-hour. So I'll see if I can get that move later this week, hopefully. I found an uptrend on the 4-hour chart and used JPY confluence 0.618 retracement. Thinking of long, what do you think? When our chart shows wicks to the upside, yeah, it does. The thing is, dollar yen is actually a pretty nice bullish pair. I have to say, I'm pretty bearish on the yen pairs. I do think there's more downside to be had. Not quite ready yet to be shorted. Still need some breaker structures with them. But dollar yen is one of the yen pairs which is still pushed to the upside, still seeing consistent higher highs and higher lows. And I believe the Fibonacci 0.618 you're talking about is this fib probably. Yeah, more or less hit that 0.618, broke past, almost hit the 0.786, but we've had a healthy retracement, and we are retesting some price structure on the left, which seems to be acting as support. So yeah, with dollar yen, there is no real indication of price turning around here, really. Dollar yen seems to be in a different kind of bracket with the other yen pairs, because the other yen pairs are starting to form some bearish structure, looking a little bit more bearish. Dollar yen is still pretty much as normal here, and that's a big reason. A big reason of that is USD strength. But yeah, I think the buys look good. I really like the wicks here on the 4-hour, piercing through that level, but still respecting onto it. So I do like the buys here with dollar yen, and I think targets back to the higher makes sense. So yeah, I think if you're looking to long dollar yen, it makes a lot of sense. I kind of have a weird expectation or intuition that I'm expecting the yen pairs to drop. So I'm not looking to buy any of the yen pairs at all, really. But in terms of dollar yen, it still ticks the boxes. Market structure is still bullish, still seeing higher highs and higher lows. And we pull back to a nice area of confluence. Also, just spotted this trend line here as well, which is acting pretty well. So the buys are there for dollar yen 100%. And if USD stays strong, that should help out the trade some more. And, you could see a swing back to the high. So yeah, dollar yen, I think the buys still look good. It's the only yen pair, and CHF as well a little bit, which doesn't really give me any signs of bearish or bearish opportunity just yet. Whereas with like Aussie yen or New Zealand yen, I know these guys are still consolidating, but if I do see a strong break of that low, I'm going to be looking to short. Same thing with CAD yen as well. If we do see a strong break of that low, I'm looking to short there as well. So I'm kind of one step away. Oh, you're officially a bull in the yen pairs? You've been a bull for a while though, Tom. I know you've been taking advantage of some longs on CAD yen, I'm pretty sure. For some indices, okay, I'll take a look at some indices, Lauder. I'm hesitating also because there's news today, but not directly affecting on the yen pair. There is USD news. There's building permits in the afternoon, but building permits not the biggest news event. Maybe it might move the market a little bit, but it's nothing to worry too much. Depends on the size of your stop loss, really. If you got like, let me check dollar yen. If you've got like well, the thing about the yen pairs is that they're full of pips. If you've got like a 90 or 100 pip stop loss, you'll be fine. I know that sounds pretty big, but if you're operating on the 4-hour, that's kind of what you're looking at for a yen pair. Even if you got like a 50, 60 pip stop loss, I think you'll be fine. If you've got like a 20 or a 10, then yeah, you probably want to be a little bit careful, because it doesn't take much for yen pair to move 10 pips. And a bit of news this afternoon with USD building permits at 1:30 UK time, 10 pips could be done very easily. So if you've got a bigger stop loss, you can afford to trade through that. If you're going to be intraday tight stop losses, maybe you want to wait for after the news. But building permits is not a big news event, so I wouldn't be too afraid of that. So yeah, we'll go through some indices. Yeah, UJ is broken. It's because of USD. USD just been so strong. Holy One entering Euro Pound buy. See you tomorrow. Okay, out of a bang there. But yeah, see you tomorrow, man. Take care. So yeah, in terms of the indices, I am looking for a bit of a bounce with them, but US 30 nowhere near an area which I'll look to buy from. So you can see all these high lows, 1, 2, 3, fake out there, 4, 5, 6 is where I'm looking for that bounce. 42,400 seems to be a nice downside from the high of the channel, multiple rejection of that high. So effectively, I just need to wait for price to come to the low end of the channel before I look for some longs. So that's where I'll be waiting for. US 100, similar situation with this one as well. You've got a nice channel which price has been moving in. I'm looking for price to come into the lower end. I'm looking at that as a bit of a fake out the high end of the channel. Of course, we created some new highs while still at it as well. But this for me is still the area which I'd like to long from. And if again I drop to the 4-hour chart, this is the area which I'll expect to see a bounce from for the NAS. So looking for another drop, and then hopefully we can spike to the upside from here. So around 2,200. And then you got your lovely S&P 500, which is already testing some nice levels. I believe we already pulled back into the 50% of the fib. Yes, we have. And we got that high there on the left. With this one, there is a ascending channel, but it's a little bit more awkward. So I wouldn't mind taking the retest of the high there. So I wouldn't mind taking the retest of the high. If we do come deeper, then the opportunity is a little bit lower down as well. But I think the retest of the high is good enough because you already had a decent retracement. Markets had a decent move down. It's not shallow. It's testing the 50 and also testing a nice high. So I like the longs of this one. And if we do keep pushing, then you got your US 30 and your NAS 100 buys later on. But maybe for this one, maybe another spike this afternoon as well. And that might take us to the upside from there. But yeah, with the indices overall, I'm bullish. So I just need to see a bit more downside with some of them. And then, yeah, expecting a bit of a bounce later on. But that, guys, does take us to the end of the stream. Do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, saying hi, chatting with me, and having a good time on the stream. If you have found it useful, enjoyed it, entertaining, educational, make sure you smash the like button. Drop I was going to say drop a comment down below, but don't really do that with streams. But I guess drop a comment down below, and also subscribe to the channel as well if you guys haven't done so already and you're enjoying the content. And make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any uploads or streams in the future. Check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel. Link to that at the top of the chat and also in the description below, so you can't miss it. Join discussions, chat with myself, other traders about different opportunities coming up in the markets. And of course, you can find your discount code for your next Elevating Traders Challenge. But guys, I will be live again later this week, as always, every weekday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So if you're free, make sure you tune in and say hi. But guys, really appreciate you coming on. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.